In this video, I'm just going to be going through the review, and as far as we are concerned, I have enlarged the pages for the purposes of the video to make things a little bit more clear, and I'm going to be referring to this page as 56A, and the right side will be 56B. This is going to be a multi-part video, just to make uploading a little bit easier for me. So, in the first problem, by the way, I'm only going to be doing the odds. Okay, that way you have time to practice the evens. Okay, in the first problem, they want us to find angle KHM. Well, in angle KHM, okay, that's that angle right there. Okay, we know that the circle adds up to 360 degrees. What we need is this angle right in here, this arc. Okay, and because it's a central angle, we know it equals the measure of the arc. So if we knew this, we would know the angle as well. So I know that they all have to add up to 360 degrees. So if I just take 360 minus 155 minus 45 minus 40 minus 85, I would find that missing angle. Okay, well, I know that means that this angle right here is going to be 35 degrees. Okay, so when you do all this, you get 35. So, the measure of angle KHM is equal to 85 plus 35, or 120 degrees. In number 3, the measure of arc IHK. All right, well, I know that this from here around to here is 180 degrees, so I'm not super worried about that. But what I do need to find out is this arc right here, how many degrees that is. Well, if this is 55 degrees, I know the angle right here is 55 degrees. Now, you may be wondering, why is that helpful? Well, these are vertical angles. So that means that these are equal to each other. You have to remember those little tricks. So if that angle is 55, that means this arc is 55. And the three of these have to add up to 180 as well. So 55 plus 77, okay, let's see, 180 minus 55 minus 77 is 48 degrees. So that's 48. So from I all the way around to K, is 48 plus 180, or 228 degrees. In number 5, okay, they want the measure of arc FD. Well, I don't know what the measure of arc FE is, but I know if I knew that, I could add it to 72, and I would have that. Well, here's the good news, is that if this angle is 140 degrees, that means that because this is a diameter and a straight line, that makes this a linear pair, that this is 40 degrees, because they have to add up to 180. So if the central angle is 40 degrees, that means the measure of the arc is 40 degrees. And now I can find that easily. 40 plus 72. That's 112. Okay, down here, number 7. Okay, they want us to find the measure of this angle. Well, here's what we know. Okay, I know that this angle opens up to this arc down here. Well, if I knew that arc, I could find that angle. Well, I know that all the way around is 360 degrees. I know that around the outside here, this is 210. So this over here has to be 360 minus 210. Or 150. So that means that because this is on the circle, the measure of angle YZD is 1/2 the intercepted arc. So 1/2 of 150 is 75 degrees. Okay, so that's page 56A. Going over to 56B. Okay, they want us to find the measure of this arc. Well, I know that this is a diameter. I know that that's 46 degrees. But I have two unknown angles here, so I have to find that. Well, here's the good news. This angle right here opens up to be a semicircle, so that's 180 degrees. And the angle is half the intercepted arc. So if that's 180, that means this angle here is 90. So now, because this is a triangle, I know these three add up to 180. So 180 minus 90 minus 46, that is 44 degrees. And I know that the angle is 1/2 the arc. So multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of the 1/2. And I find that 88 degrees is the measure of arc WV. In number 11, I have a whole bunch of stuff going on in this picture. So I start working with what I do know. I know they want this angle right here. And I know that this angle opens up to this arc over here. Okay, so that's a start. So now I know what I need to know to find this. So now I'm going to use what they do tell me. They tell me that angle F here is 31 degrees. Well, so that means that the arc, the angle is 1/2 arc CD. Well, multiplied by 2. So the measure of arc CD is 62 degrees. Now, that may not seem very helpful, but here's what I do know. I know that this is a diameter. So I know that this side of the circle is 180 degrees. So if I do 180 minus 62, that'll tell me the measure of this arc. Okay. And that gets me 118 degrees. So to find this angle, I take half the arc. So measure of angle DCE is equal to 1/2 of 118, or 59 degrees. Okay, starting down at the bottom. These angles, remember, if they meet outside, if the angle is outside the circle, it's 1/2 the difference of the arcs. If the angle is inside the circle, it's 1/2 the sum of the arcs. So they want this angle in here. I'm just going to generically call that x. What they don't tell me is this out here. They don't tell me how many degrees the big arc is. Well, I know it's 360 all the way around. I know they've already used 102, so that means that this has to be 258. So that's 258. Now, because the angle is outside the circle, I know it's 1/2 the difference, the big minus the little. So when you type that into your calculator, you get 78 degrees. Okay, and number 15. Okay, here they tell me the angle. It's 65. Okay, what they want is this little sliver of an arc in there. So I'm going to call that X. So because the angle's outside the circle, the angle is 1/2 the big arc minus the little arc. Okay, so now I'm just going to distribute. Oh no, it's a fraction. No big deal. So when I subtract 177 over 2 from both sides, what I get is negative 47/2. So multiply both sides by negative 2. I get x equals 47 degrees. That's the measure of this arc in here, that little tidbit there. Now 17 is a little bit different. The lines cross inside the circle. Okay? When the angle is inside the circle, remember it is 1/2 the sum. So I'm just going to call that x. So x equals 1/2 the sum, 65 plus 165. Remember, it has to be the ones that it opens up to. So since I want this angle, it has to be this and this. I could not use these two. So add those together. I get 1/2 times 230, which is 115. Okay, that's going to be the end of this video. Click the next link so that you can start the next page.